guys, it's Alexis, aka The Soft Reader, and I'm here today to do my July book haul. Rewind to my book haul last month where I said I wasn't going to buy any books in July. Look, I'm not a soothsayer, okay? I can't predict the future. I can't predict walking into a bookstore and seeing a bunch of books on sale. I'm only human. So one of these books was actually my book of the month pick for the month of July. And then 3 of these I got on sale. One of them I picked up because I have no impulse control. And the last one was the one new release I said I was going to be picking up this month. So it's only 6 books. It's still 5 books too many, but we'll just go ahead and get into it. The first one I'm going to mention is the Because You Love to Hate Me anthology, edited by Amory here on BookTube. This is the book that paired 13 booktubers with 13 authors, and they basically wrote villain stories all about villains and villainy. I have already read this, which you will hear about in my wrap-up for the month, but I was super excited for this book. It's anthologies, and I've been trying to get more into anthologies. A lot of these authors are just really talented. A lot of them I really, really love, and a lot of them I've been looking forward to reading something from. And this cover is so pretty. It's a really pretty cover, and this purple is just gorgeous. It's such a pretty color. But yes, I did buy this month. The next 2 books I'm going to mention are both classics, one of which I have read, one of which I have not. I went into Books A Million to buy Because You Love to Hate Me, saw these for only $6, and these covers were just so gorgeous that I couldn't help myself. But they were only $6, and I was like, you know, they're classics. And the pretty covers encourage me to read them more. The first one is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which again I have already read, but this cover is just absolutely beautiful. It's so gorgeous. And I loved this cover, and I was just like, oh, you know what, I want a new edition of Pride and Prejudice anyway, so I decided to go ahead and pick this one up. And while I was there, I went ahead and picked up Emma, also by Jane Austen. This is the Jane Austen book that I haven't read that I'm most excited to read. And again, that cover is just absolutely stunning. So again, it was only $6. I've always been interested in reading Emma. Like I said, it's the Jane Austen book I'm most interested to read. And so I decided to pick these up in these really, really beautiful editions. By the way, these are the Arcturus editions, and these, which I said I got at Books A Million, they had a bunch of different classics. They had a lot of Jane Austen, they had a lot of Charles Dickens, they had Gulliver's Travels, Frankenstein, and a lot of classics in these editions. So they're super gorgeous. I may pick up more of them as my need to read classics arises, but yes, I did get both of these this month. The last book I got on that, like I said, trip into Books A Million, which ended up being 4 books instead of the 1 book it was supposed to be. But this particular book I got was only $3. I think it was like $2.98. And it's a hardback of this book. And I couldn't, in all of my sense, pass up buying this book for $3. Especially because technically I did pass on it the first time. I was in the bookstore, I was going to buy it. The line was really long and I had to be somewhere, so I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And then I decided to go back and check the clearance section. I was like, maybe it's still here. And it was. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to take that as a sign of fate that I need to buy this book. Even though I haven't read the first book in the series, but I'm hoping to later this year, and that is Layer of Dreams by Libba Bray. So this is the hardback edition of this book, and I got it for $2.98. Like, that was just such a deal to me. And so now I have the sequel for the series whenever I decide to go back and actually read The Diviners. And so now I have the sequel already. I paid pretty much nothing for it. And that was super duper exciting. And like I said, it was fate, obviously. So yes, so I bought this one for $3. Shouldn't have, but I did anyway. And I'm excited. I feel like I just won a prize. The next book I'm going to mention is actually the first book in a high fantasy series I've been meaning to pick up for months now. And I just happened to see this particular edition of it, which is the edition I wanted, at Barnes & Noble's when I was hanging out with a friend of mine. And that is The Last Wish which is the first book in the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski. If you guys are Polish, if any of you are Polish, please tell me if I'm saying that right. I think it's just Andrzej, how you say that first name. But anyway, so this is the first book in the Witcher series by Sapkowski, and so this is the book series that inspired the Witcher video games. And if you guys don't know, The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt is one of my all-time favorite video games. I think that video game is a work of art. And so my love for that video game has encouraged me to pick up the novels that they're based on. And this is actually the video game like tie-in edition. So this is actually the one that features Geralt as he is in the video game. And so even though it's mass market paperback, I wanted this edition because it's got the video game on it. So I do want to eventually get to this because I love, like I said, I love the video game, and so I'm really, really interested to see this fantasy world that inspired something that I already really love. And so yeah, this one was only like $8, but still, I shouldn't have bought it, but I did. And hopefully I'll get to it soon so that I can experience The Witcher all over again in a new format. The last book I'm going to mention in this book haul, like I said, was my book of the month pick for July. And at first, when I first glanced at them, I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna buy any of these. And then I noticed that this book was on the list, and I got like hyped because I've heard so many good things about this book, and this book has gotten so much hype. And recently I've just been, like, the whole last couple of months, I've been in such a thriller mood to read thrillers, and that's what this book is. So it was just like the stars aligning, and I was like, boom, that's my pick for the month of July. And that is Final Girls by Riley Sager. This follows our main character, Quincy, who has survived a really traumatic incident in which she was the only survivor of a serial killer. And so Quincy actually, in order to help deal with her trauma of this particular incident, befriends these other girls, the final girls, who are all the surviving victims of these horrible tragedies. And they basically like help each other cope with the things that they've been through. And so one day, one of those girls is found dead in her apartment, and it looks like she's committed suicide, but the final girls, this group of girls, know that that's not the case. And so it's basically about them trying to figure out, is someone hunting these final girls down? And if so, can they stop him? And yeah, I've heard some really good things about this one, and it's got a super cool premise. I've just been so in the mood for thrillers lately. And I'm really excited to get to this one. I think I'm going to put off reading this one until October, when it's more of the spooky vibe. But I'm really excited that this was included as July's selection, because I'm really excited to get to this one. Alright guys, so those were the 6 books I bought in the month of July. Again, I shouldn't have bought any. You guys should let me know down below what you bought in July, or if you have an opinion on any of the books I got in July. I'd love to hear it, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!